You know, I thought what I'd talk about is something that is unique to us, is that we combine an emphasis on deep spiritual practice with the pursuit of excellence. Now, it's not completely unique to us, but it is unusual at this point. In the history of Zen, and in Japan still in some places, that is the way it was done. The difference being that the pursuit of excellence, say for Zen teachers and students in Japan, would be in traditional forms like archery, flower arranging, sumi painting, things like that, whereas we pursue it in the things of everyday life, the things you work at, as well as in those areas too. I just got an email from Daido Roshi, who was my teacher and quite good at many things, and they do that at Zen Mountain Monastery. People have an arts practice, and they have a intellectual practice, and we used to have a very strong martial arts program there too. And so I like that idea very much, and I wanted to tie it to something. Something that's spoken of traditionally in Zen is kind of a tripod of practice, and it is referred to as great faith, great doubt, and great determination. And I think I can just scratch the surface of it, and maybe it'll go to next time, but let me explain some of that. Great doubt is the one that I bring up to you the most often, and is in a way the hardest to grasp. Great doubt is what I sometimes refer to as being a traveler or a warrior, meaning that you're not fooled by ideas that are just not true, such as that you're going to be here forever. You're not. You're not good, you're just passing through. And that there's a story called the story of our lives that is really a story in the sense that it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, like on TV or in a movie or in a book. That's not true. Those are all fictions. Your life will not wrap up nicely into an end, probably. And it will just cut off. That's it. You know, and it's not like a play. It's not like a novel. Those are fictions that we come to replace for our good sense. We leave our good sense at the doorstep and sort of walk into the theater or the TV set or great books of literature. You know, at the end of Anna Karenina gets what she deserves, or some people think she does, or some people don't. But your life is not like that. And people don't get what they deserve. Now, if you can liberate yourself, also the things that you think are great, and we all have been taught, it's not true. It's just not true. Like one thing people are worried about these days is that they're going to lose their job because of the economy. Yeah, that's true. Now, on the other hand, so does that mean that the times in your life when you have a job and have a security were the good times, and the times that when you didn't have a job and worried about security were the bad times? Not necessarily so. I remember a good friend of mine, I have two friends who I've mentioned before, I think, who were just the richest people I would ever know. Multi-zillionaires. I shouldn't say zillion because it's only billion. Because today there really are zillions, so there's an exaggeration. But billion. And I remember talking to him to talk about great doubt and complexity. And he always used to tell me, Alfred, how miserable he was. And, or everybody would assume that with all that money, you'd be happy. He said the most miserable thing in the world is to wake up in the morning knowing that you can do anything you want, and anything you wanted to do you've already done, and you can't figure anything that you want to do. Now Susan, his wife, I have a painting of hers above my desk. She didn't change her life at all. She was always wealthy. Alfred got wealthy. He made his own money. She inherited money. She did what she'd always done. She had a painting studio and she painted. And she learned more and more about painting. And she didn't change. Money didn't change her at all. But she grew, and she was very much into growing. And I had a relationship with her, worked with her for a number of years. All these ideas about where we're going to go, the relationship that's going to absolutely transform your life from the shoddy thing it is into Romeo and Juliet. I'm not saying these things are not good. I always tell you this. These things are wonderful. But they're not going to do what you've been promised. When you become president of the company, you're not going to be necessarily happier than you were. Now, I think some of you believe me, maybe some of you don't, then I would encourage you to look back on your life, see when you were actually happy and what that means. So great doubt is not buying into all that stuff, all the things that people tell you. And since you're only traveling through, and the story is not going to end in a happy ending, then the happy ending is only now. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means it's not in the story. Actually, it's when you leave the story. When you leave the story, you're free. Voila, happy ending. See? So that's great doubt.